Welcome in, everyone, here in Cedar Pines, Minnesota. We're at Centennial High School for a cat clash, typical here on North Metro TV. The Centennial Cougars taking on the Spring Lake Park Panthers. I'm Blythe Whaley alongside Bill Hupp, and today is probably about the most immaculate soccer conditions we could have had.
Yeah, absolutely, Blythe. 64, sunny, a little bit cloudy, but 14-mile-an-hour winds. It should be a beautiful day for soccer, unlike the last time we were here to broadcast a soccer game.
Yeah, the
a
last
little bit
time.
different.
Yeah, last time I was here broadcasting for the Centennial Cougars, the guys' game got rained out. Storm came in, lightning, and they didn't even get to start. So definitely different. But as these guys hit the field, the Centennial Cougars, coached by Jeff Otteson, his squad having a good year so far, and definitely on the Spring Lake Park team, they are excited. They've had more wins than they thought they would have had this season. So Coach Ryan Manning is also happy about his team and what they've been able to do after losing a few of those all-conference players last year.
Yeah, no question about it. They're getting some really important contributions from a couple of sophomores who will surely call their names a lot today. An 8th grader and a freshman pair of brothers as well contributing. So a lot to like for this Spring Lake Park club as we're underway here at Centennial.
Spring Lake Park with possession early, and that's what Coach Manning was telling me before the game, is that is what they like to do. They take over the possession in the games that they have played, and so off to a similar start from what he's been seeing this season. But here on the near side, that's Andrew Schmitz looking for the throw-in, sending it up, and as they try to work around Centennial on this near side, they haven't had too much luck getting by a couple of these defenders. We've kind of been stuck here for just a little bit in these early moments.
Panthers trying to play those triangles, trying to do the short passing and keep control, like you said, but it's not just about the possession, obviously. It's what you do with it. Can you convert your chances and finish your opportunities when you get them?
Centennial sends it long, wanting to get over the top of the defense, but Spring Lake Park composed, recovers, and now working through the middle, able to switch the field and up this near side, not gonna stay in bounds. It's a turf field here at Centennial, so that ball rolling quite fast.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the difference in speed that the ball rolls in terms of turf versus grass, and it is an adjustment if teams, but these days high school teams are so used to playing on turf, as they often do, that they should have no problem adjusting the touch in terms of trying to make sure that it's not too heavy.
Yeah, I played on turf my high school career and definitely enjoyed it, just the consistency. But out wide, the Cougars wanting to get by the defense on the outside. Spring Lake Park has been able to gather possession, though, as we talked about in these early moments. Possession has been a strength for them all season, and they have been able to come out of some of these Cougar attacks as they've gotten into that final third.
And Centennial will be content to let them possess as long as they can keep them, out of their final third. Possession's not going to hurt them as long as the Cougars can keep their shape and then try to hit them on the counterattack.
As Spring Lake Park looking to do the give and go, Centennial is able to be there, and we've had a lot of work happening in this middle of the field. Neither team really getting into that final third. No opportunities for a shot yet.
Well, in the game of soccer, obviously controlling the midfield and dominating the midfield is what both teams really want to do. That's ultimately who usually ends up being more of a threat offensively. So both teams will look to do that, just probably in their own different ways.
Dominic Trejo sends it forward, but Spring Lake Park is able to gather, and inside the box they go. Shot fired left of the goal. But that was our first buildup of the day. We get to see Spring Lake Park get into that final third and get a shot off. Verke didn't have to do too much, though.
Naid Medic, as you see here, racing away, cuts it inside on his favorite right foot, just can't curl it in at that near post. But Medic, one of those sophomores we were talking about, the striker, 6 goals and a couple assists on the season, coming in the leading goal scorer for this Panthers club.
Yeah, and Medic, just a sophomore, so he is already showing his skills on this team at a very young age, and that's something Ryan Manning was telling me about his squad, is there's some young guys who have really shown up this year and started to become some of those standout players, and they needed those guys to step up after losing some very talented guys from last year, 3 all-conference players.
Yeah, and you know, with the good programs typically just reload. They've got guys that are younger that can come up and step up to that varsity level when you have senior contributors that graduate. So certainly that's what the Mannings co-head coaches hope to have happen.
Medic with it inside the box, around 1 defender, but again, the left side of the goal. He's going to want to try to pull that out and go to the top of the box, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he was just looking to cross it to Sean Lirazen, who the sophomore midfielder was crashing in toward the middle of the goal, as you see here. Good ball down line, right into the passive Medic. And he just kind of tried to go outside of the boot, but just kind of mishit it. But it was the right idea, the right pass for sure.
Verke sends the ball up, Spring Lake Park gaining possession yet again. We're on the far side of the field now. Getting the cross off, centering that, but Spring Lake Park not the first one to it. That's exactly what the Cougars needed to do defensively. The ball's coming in the box. They didn't let it bounce. They were first to. Now these guys looking to combine to get into the attack.
Yeah, the 50-50 balls, like you talked about, so critical for both teams. Very often the side that comes out on top is the one that's won the majority of those.
As Centennial had kept possession there for a bit on their run up the field, they've given it back, and Medic now with the ball, a sea of red jerseys around him. Shot fired, but Verke is there.
Medic, his 2nd shot of the game. First save forced for either keeper, but it's amazing how much they just know to find their sophomore striker up top. Great ball right into his path, and he does not hesitate. Gets it on his right, gets an acre of space, but comfortably enough for the Cougars senior captain.
And that is something that Coach Jeff Otteson for the Cougars want his team to do. They haven't really been able to get those shots off. They've been doing a good job possessing themselves throughout the season, but in that final third, how can you actually take a hit instead of just doing that extra pass and missing that opportunity?
Right, sometimes teams can be too fine with it. They can try to find the perfect pass, and then eventually the defense recovers and the opportunity is lost. But sometimes coaches like Coach Otteson want their teams to be more decisive in the final third, like you said, and take those chances, because you don't always get them.
Cougars gonna be throwing the ball in here, and it is inside the box. These guys seem to have a guy who's able to throw it long, and not every team has that, but when you do, it's so lethal.
It's like an extra set piece. It's
yeah,
amazing.
Exactly. Almost like a corner kick coming from the sideline.
Right.
Nice move as the Cougars keep possession.
My favorite is when you see kids that can backflip and throw it in. If you've ever seen that,
Yep.
that's so impressive.
I always wish I could do that. I never even tried, but it looked crazy every time. I was like, what?
Very acrobatic, and they can get a lot on their throws too.
Yeah, normally when you have someone who's able to throw like that, they're coming from wherever on the field. Whatever position they're in, the coach still wants them to take the throw in, so they're waiting as they trot up the field to get there.
Yeah, they take all the throws.
Andrew Schmitz for the Panthers, looking to throw this in. He's able to, as they combined. That was Larzan. But the Cougars come away with it, pushing forward into the attack. That one too far in front. And the Panthers gain possession yet again.
We talk about the sophomores on Spring Lake Park, but Centennial starts several sophomores as well. So Cougars, a youngish team that's developing, and led by guys like Isaac Verkey in between the six.
And it seems like the Cougars know very well that Medic is going to be the guy to watch. They've been able to collapse on him a couple times here on the sideline. They just did so, and he wasn't able to really push into the attack.
Yeah, well, they should know going in that he's the Panthers' danger man. He's the striker up top. It's just a one-striker system. So definitely the guy to shut down if you're the Centennial defense.
Battle on the far side, guys hitting the ground, and referee will signal a Panther free kick, and it's underway quickly. And that's exactly what you want to do if you're the Panthers. Just get that ball in play, possess.
Yeah, they, no official possession statistics here, of course, but certainly they seem to have had the lion's share of it so far. I'd say 60–65% thus far, and they've also had the only 2 shots of the game. So good start for the Mannings and their club.
Ball sent over the top, a foot race as the Panthers defend and track this down.
Smart defending by Schmitz, the senior. Just get it out. It doesn't matter where. Get it out to the sidelines. Let your team come back and regroup.
Trejo throwing in for the Cougars. Gets it inside the box. Long first touch, gives it back to the Panthers. They're able to combine on this sideline.
A lot of man buns out there this year. That seems to be the style for this current crop of kids. So it's always interesting.
Soccer has brought it back, to be honest. A lot of guys in college for me on that team, they all supported the man bun, it seemed like.
You got to do something with the hair if it's long enough. First couple subs for Spring Lake Park.
Yeah, some fresh legs coming in, but Andrew Schmitz on the near side. Unfortunate trip up. Sometimes that ball can be sticky, and we see Spring Lake Park come out of it.
Good recovery by Abdul Akinola, who is another sophomore in the midfield. He leads the team in assists, and he also has 3 goals. So second on the team in points with 7. And he's been a valuable contributor. A lot of stuff goes through him, and it's easy to see why.
Spring Lake Park pushing this ball forward. Verkey is there to collect.
We'll count it as a shot because it was on net, but sure, I think that was just a through ball that was overhit.
Yeah, Searing just seemed like he wanted to get that ball as far up the field as he could and over the top of the defense. But of course, when you're sending it so dead straight on, normally the keeper is going to be there.
And they can read it really well too. First subs of the game for the Cougars.
Panthers sending some more in of their own.
Now it's all about communication. As you can see here, some of the coaches are talking about who's got who. It's not a man-to-man, obviously, but you want to know who's kind of coming in and who you have to be aware of.
Shot fired and denied. Panthers defense was there almost like a wall, and back in possession they go. Like you said, tripped up. Man, oh my, these guys
that was
fighting.
That was a full-blooded tackle as Isaiah Noken, freshman, takes the worst of it. I mean, a legal tackle. He won the ball, but definitely, aggressive.
Free kick as the Panthers combine.
How bad was the weather the last time we were here? When like you talked about in the pregame, Blythe.
Yeah, I mean, the rain came down. First, I'm going to say this corner kick coming. This will be huge for the Panthers. We're still 0-0 in this game, and now having the opportunity to put this one inside the box.
Yeah,
but of course,
First corner for either team.
That weather was nuts because, you know, you kind of saw it coming. You're like, okay, I think this is going to be bad. And then all of a sudden, this torrential downpour.
It takes a lot to cancel a soccer game on a turf field, too.
Aknola sending this deep inside the box. On the other end of it was Jacob Knockin, the 8th grader. He's been having an impact on this Panther team. Coach Manning was telling me he was pleasantly surprised that him and his brother have brought something in their young age. The medic fighting.
Yeah, it's nice when you can get contributions when 8th graders and freshmen don't play, as we've got an injured Centennial Cougar, Haroon Bula, on a knee. Oh, and he just caught that one in the stomach, it looks like, on that shot. But yeah, it's nice when you can get good youthful contributions from kids who don't play like they're that young, because just think about how important that experience is going to be for him now in a couple of years.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. Coach Manning's so pumped for what the years to come are going to look like with such young talent on his squad. But 26 minutes remain here in this first half, still 0-0 as the Panthers deep in this final third. Sending it into the box, man there, but Verke came out of it unscathed. That ball slipping through, and Cougars clear it.
Isaiah Noken just crashing the net, almost causing problems for Verke and the Cougars.
Yeah, the Panthers had the ball right where they wanted, just nobody there to finish it.
Now Spring Lake Park starting to get a lot more activity in the final third, and that's a good sign for the Panthers.
Yeah, again, yes, you can have all the possession you want, but if you can't get in that final third and finish it out, it's still going to be a 0-0 game. So as the Panthers do find those opportunities, they've been able to put that there in the mix.
Yeah, in the early going, Centennial has just been chasing the game.
As the Cougars work to build an attack of their own, this one rolling out of bounds on the near side and given back to the Panthers. Like I said, with the Cougars, they've had some combinations, but ultimately it's been like that. They'll have it for a few seconds and that ball will roll out of bounds and give it right back to the Panthers. Or a ball just, you know, that first touch too far off their foot that it's given back. As we get further into this game, we'll see if the Cougars settle in and are able to combine more.
We talked about, you know, they're 5-2-1 coming into this game, and all 5 of their wins have been by shutout. So if they can keep SLP off the scoreboard, you feel good about their chances. But Spring Lake Park has been threatening from the jump, and they earn a foul here.
Now Isaiah Knockin knocked down, but he is up, and they will get a free kick on the far side. Panthers in great position to put this one, to make it difficult for Verke to have to defend.
Speed and activity of the Knockin brothers has caused problems for Centennial.
Ball sent in right side of the goal, but that one was streaking right towards that upper right corner. It could have just bent a little bit.
Man, Akinola nearly picked out the far post, and Verke could do nothing about it. That looked very close.
Yeah, if you would have had some bend it like Beckham on that ball. Verke, goal kick sent up.
Good trap.
Cougars combine, but again, an unlucky touch in this one. Back to the Panthers.
Unofficial
Schmitz.
shot count 4-1 in favor of Centennial, or Spring Lake Park rather, right now.
Ball sent forward, Panthers recover. As they continue to have those lucky bounces, those balls that are 50-50, and they're having that extra effort to keep possession.
We talked about how nice it is right now, Blythe, but I feel like once the sun goes down for the girls' game, it might get a little chilly.
When you're out there running, oh, it would have been perfect if I was playing right now. Oh man, it would feel so great. I know, my parents, when they were watching, and my grandparents would always be like, it's freezing. Ball sent over the crossbar, but the Cougars finally sending one towards net in that attacking third, and that's what Coach Otteson wants to see his guys continue to do.
Captain Cal Babish putting it on net, but just leaning back too far, and he skied it over. Still, that's better from Centennial, who's looking to get a foothold still in this game.
Brody Stewart on the far side, helping the Panthers work their way up. They're moving into their attacking half. The Cougars forced to send it back to Verke. As Verke plays this one long all the way up to his forward in a foot race as this one is sent behind that back line.
Ooh, dangerous, but calm from the backfield, and number 11, Brody Stewart.
Panthers still with it, knocking the 8th grader, wanting to send it long, send it right into the Cougars' path.
Teams want to do generally what Spring Lake Park just did, which is play it out of the back. Keep possession, play it out the back. And again, discretion, the better part of valor. Jonah Deshaw, one of the captains, sends it out.
Trejo, high foot. Almost surprised that that didn't find a whistle. Typically seeing that dangerous play. Referee lets it go, and the Cougars still trying to make something happen. Like I said, they've pushed their way finally into that attacking third. They haven't had too much pressure, you know, put on that goalkeeper, and that's exactly what Coach Otteson had been saying. Even if they got that possession in the final third, that's what they still need to work on.
I can't remember them having any possession in the box.
Yeah, you're right.
Any real chance. Both shots have come from outside the box. And Spring Lake Park's backline has done a real nice job, the little work that they've had to do.
Hussein sent that one long for the Panthers.
Medic is out right now, so there's definitely a lack of forward threat. There's not one striker that they're trying to get it up to. And that's pretty noticeable.
Yeah, Medic had done quite well for them throughout the season, but his partner in crime, Aknola, number 18, has helped him. He's been able to really combine with him. Coach saying they're the best of friends on and off the field, so helps them stay in touch and combine. But the Cougars, Trejo sending it in, finding feet. Trejo back with it. They're able to find feet. They've been connecting in the final third, and ball sent across the box.
Another block shot from Spring Lake Park, but must have taken another deflection because they're going to say it's out for a goal kick.
Cougars working around in that final third, but nothing too threatening so far. Hussein taking the goal kick. Cougars, nice job stepping up and trying to get that 50-50.
No foul on Akinola.
Yeah, and referee lets them play. Cougars
good
stripped.
That back line has just been solid, not really letting Centennial get much once they've gotten into the top of the box. And another solid defensive play for Stewart.
Yeah, Stewart, a junior, certainly showing that leadership, that upperclassman.
That's the thing, they've got some exciting attacking options up top and youth in Akinola and Medic, but stability and solidity in the back line with a few captains. And a senior in Riyad Hussein.
Ball sent into the box. Hussein is there. Coach was saying there's been a few games where ball has slipped past the keeper where maybe it would have been a 0-0 game, and that made the difference. So for them, just wanting to make sure Hussein is on top of it as the ball dribbles towards him. And Sam Stile, their other keeper, both seniors, out injured today.
Yeah, they're missing a couple kids, but as you can see with the 4-kid substitution right here, 4-player substitution, they're using their entire bench. The Mannings, Ryan and Jennifer, co-head coaches. It's a pretty unique setup.
Yeah, he's been doing it for 10 years. So he's been around the program helping the Panthers. And that consistency is always nice if you're growing up in that program.
No doubt.
Cougar is doing a nice job switching the field, swinging the ball to the far side, creating the space as the Cougars continue to build. Ball sent over, Trejo taking his space, sends this one arcing, and the Cougars able to get it down. That was a bouncing ball, tough sometimes to handle, but the Cougars get something off, and Hussein was able to scoop it up.
Yeah, that was a nice shot delivered by Garrett Anderson, who is a senior that is tied for the team lead in goals scored. But what a great ball to switch it into the middle and set it up for Anderson to take the shot. Just could not get enough on it. But it is a strategy, right, Blythe, to hit it into the turf and hope it bounces funny.
Yeah, I think for sure, like, he was just trying to get it down, because easily if that ball's ricocheting, and like you said on the earlier goal, if he's leaning back, that ball's just gonna sky over the net. So get it on net, and the best chance is making sure it just goes down. Get it down, stop that bouncing ball in the air.
Yeah, absolutely. So interestingly right now, Centennial, 3 of their 4 shots are on goal and have forced saves from Hussein. And Spring Lake Park, they've had 4 shots, but none of them have been on goal or forced to save. So still no saves yet for Verke as he's looking into that sunshine.
Medic offsides as the Panthers wanting to toe that line, trying to get one before halftime. Just under 15 minutes remain in the first half.
Sun's back out, so it's beautiful once again here at Cougar Stadium.
The Cougars create in the middle.
They're starting to possess the ball better, Blythe. I mean, they're definitely settling in, they're moving it better, and they're forcing Hussein and the defense of Spring Lake Park to be aware.
Yeah, Hussein, we hardly said his name. He barely got the ball in those early minutes for almost the first half of this first half. He didn't really touch the ball, and now in these probably last 10 minutes or so, he's been active and having to step up and make some saves.
And that's what we so often see in soccer, right, is some teams will have the better of play for the first like 20 minutes, and then the other team will settle in and play better for the next 10, and each team will enjoy spells of possession.
Shaw having to step up as the Cougars have battled and got some more possession in that final third. Ball sent to the far side as the Panthers track it down. Can't keep it in play, but at least they got it out of their own end. The Cougars having a few opportunities towards Hussein.
And it was the right idea. It was the right look. Just a little bit too much on it, but certainly the right idea. And this is hopefully for the Panthers going to switch the field and allow them to set up closer to that final third.
Searing throwing it up and over everyone. The ball continues to bounce over, and Cougars on the attack, running into the box, but sending a dribbler towards Hussein. Didn't get quite enough on that. But again, the Cougars showing some life in them here late in the first half.
Shaw got so lucky there. He was a little casual with the clearance, and he almost he had it stolen, and it almost cost his team, but he was able to recover and bother the shot enough to where it didn't end up really troubling Hussein much.
Cougar is still with it, working up the field. Baloo stopped up, and the Panthers will continue to defend. This one bouncing off them. Let's watch that last opportunity by the Cougars.
And a great job to just come back and just bother it enough, the shot enough without committing a foul, which is always risky. But yeah, when you're the last line of defense, you have to be solid with it and not be too careless in possession.
Sometimes too, that bodying up towards them. Now they're kind of focusing on not letting you get inside their spacing. That throws off their shot. He wasn't really able to get anything on it.
Good tackle. Yeah, for sure.
Panthers double team combined, working together to get possession back. Medic doesn't find his teammate, and the Cougars back with it in this final third. A sea of Panthers, though, helping get the ball back. Seen some turnovers back and forth.
It's been a really flowing, fast game. There hasn't been a ton of fouls or whistles to stop things, so it's been an entertaining match so far.
The Cougars with possession, working into their attacking half on the near side, trying to skate around a Panther, and they can't. Their defense has been a brick wall for the most of this game. So on the far side, the Panthers continuing to combine. They find Medic, he turns, playing it just about into the box as Trejo comes back to recover. Medic there to stop it up, and the Cougars send it out the side.
Great recovery by Danny Trejo. Rather Dominic Trejo, who recovered well, and an unselfish play from Medic to give the pass, but just Trejo read it well.
Cougars slotting this ball up, near perfect, able to get it past the defense as the Cougars are on a run, looking to cross. One defender there, he gets the ball back, just about to send it in. They will call this a goal kick. Great run there by Minty Shady.
Yeah, Minty Shady in there, and nice job of coming across to defend by Brody Stewart and Josh Nelson. Helps to have numbers, and certainly Spring Lake Park has had that in the first half.
Cougars working it through the middle. They've kept possession in the attacking half. Again, finding themselves late in this first half. Definitely took them a bit to settle in, but we're seeing more of what we typically see from this Cougar squad, and that's composure on the ball.
Yeah, the possession is much more closer to 50-50 than it was in the early going. Credit to Spring Lake Park for coming out firing in this first half. But Centennial now out shooting the Panthers unofficially 5-4. And as you said, Blythe, very much having settled into this game.
Nearing that 9-minute mark on the clock. Cougar taken down, and Panthers continue on up the far side.
Bad giveaway in the middle of the field.
Cougars building on the attack. Panthers are there, about a sea of three. Surrounded it to get the ball back.
Well, Stewart and Deshaw and Nelson have been able to recover, and part of it is that they're using they're good-sized fullbacks, and they're using their physicality well. And so, even though Hussein has technically saved 5 shots, or 4 shots, I guess, he has not had to make any spectacular saves. He hasn't really been tested in this first half.
Aknola sending it out to Lararzon. What I like is Medic came back, though, to fight for that on that ball, not finding him.
Yeah, you always want your strikers to track back and to press.
It was always a tough one for me. I never wanted to, because I wanted to be on the run. Send the ball up and over. I'm going to run onto it, but the momentum to come back sometimes can be tough. But off to the races. Cougars inside the box. not able to get that shot. Exactly what they've been talking about, just not taking the opportunity when it got there. Ball rolling fast.
I'm surprised they didn't get a corner out of that. I thought that Bula had kicked it off of the defender and out of play, but ultimately they awarded the goal kick. But what a rampaging run. You could see number 8, Kunga Sarin, trying to pull him back almost. But that was a really barnstorming run right there. It didn't amount to anything.
Panthers look to work out of the back. They swing it to the near side. Trejo there, around 1, knocking it out of bounds. And back to the Panthers. This is Stocky.
You know, Blythe, Spring Lake Park has not had a shot in a while.
Yeah.
Their last shot definitely came around the 30-minute mark, so they had a really good spell of play early, but they have not had much pressure lately.
Tracking it down, trying to prove you wrong.
Yeah, just as I say that, the announcer's curse.
Yeah. Panthers looking to get a shot off. They've had a few on that far left side that haven't quite made it on net, but sneaking.
Yeah, Akinola has been a real threat, and he just earned them their second corner of the half.
Panthers bringing in the corner into the box. Cougars are the first 2. Ball sent in. Verke ripping it out of the sky, and Verke just a very consistent guy. Coach Otteson telling me that they are leading the state in goals against, so they've hardly given up any goals throughout the season, and that's their plan, is to not give up any more for the remainder of the season, and he thinks that is a very attainable goal.
Yeah, Verke with 25 saves and a .62 goals against average, so having an outstanding senior season, and there's a reason he's a senior co-captain.
Combining, knock-in, playing this back. Schmitz. The Cougars wanting to get past that one defender, but they send it right to him. Back and forth in the middle of the field. Cougars with it again as they combine on the far side. Stripped away. The Panthers get it back, but they give it right back to the Cougars. Top of the 18-yard back. Shot fired. Goal for the Cougars. The Cougars get on the board before this second half. Just 4 minutes and 41 seconds remain in the first half. And the Cougars find the net.
What a rocket from Garrett Anderson, his 5th goal of the season, the senior co-captain. And he absolutely just fired that one. Watch here, they force the turnover, and he gets it, takes a touch onto his right, gets an inch of space, and just fires it past Hussein. And you know, turnovers in the final third will hurt you, but credit to Anderson and the Cougars for making Spring Lake Park pay. And there's no stopping that shot if you're Hussein. There's nothing he could do about it. That was a blast.
Yep, a beautiful build-up for the Cougars before half. They've been able to finally get some credit for all of that effort we've seen in the last 20 minutes as the Cougars have started to possess more and find their handle in that third. Ball on the far side. Panthers now gonna have to try to dig out of this hole. Only 1 goal, so still a very tight game. But again, in soccer, sometimes 1 goal is all you get. So these guys gonna have to work.
Sorry, Blythe. Teams 6 shots apiece, but it's the quality of shots. And now Hussein trying to escape pressure. And Centennial, all the momentum in the red and black's favor right now. So important too, Blythe, right, to get that goal right before the half and go into halftime feeling good about yourself.
Yeah, now you're hoping to bring that momentum back to the second half. You know, you proved yourself right that, hey, we're able to get a goal against this team, why not do it again here in the second? But you've also given yourself some freedom to relax.
Right, because you know you've got a lead and you're just protecting that lead, but you're looking for more as Akinola is in space.
Akinola finding Medic, Medic passing it back to him, taken down, referee.
No signal, just goes out. Goal kick for Centennial, so nothing. Akinola, good little 1-2 with Medic. Well, actually, they are going to say, no, it is a goal kick. Akinola was confused, but Akinola tried to do a little 1-2 with Medic, and it was well read, and it looked like they almost arrived at the same time. He was looking for the penalty, none came, so ultimately Centennial, a couple late subs, hoping to just take the sting out of this last 2 minutes and 34 seconds.
But a great decision by Medic to give it up. I think
Unselfish.
For him, it was a beautiful ball over. Yes, of course, that battle didn't work out in their favor, but I think it was the right idea.
No question.
Ball sent up, Verke.
And that's what you want from your attacking players, is to, once you pass the ball, to continue making that run and not just stand. Did you like the up in the air through balls or on the ground through balls that you could run into?
I guess any through ball, if it was ahead of me. That was the ball, because everyone normally likes to get it to their feet.
Right.
But for me, it just made way more sense. I'm just gonna sprint past this person and go collect it. So just put it up there. Give it to me in the corner.
And I imagine you were faster than most of the fullbacks you came up against, right?
Yeah, it definitely was a strength for me throughout just my career in sports, basketball, soccer, just the speed to get past people. A ball into the box, trickles out, and Hussein will have a goal kick here with just about a minute remaining in this game, minute 10. And if you're the Panthers, you're just trying to get one of your own here before half. You're going to put that extra effort because you know you're going to get a break here in under a minute.
Yeah, still time for them to try to tie this one up before the break.
Tightly defended. Trejo comes up. And the Panthers having to track it down to put this one back into play. And that's something, too. The time continually runs. And so the further the ball is and however long it takes to throw it in, takes up some of that time. In the middle of the field, ball slotted. They'll call this back offsides. Wanting to get up, that was Liarzon. Trying to toe that line, because again, he's trying to get something before half to tie this back up and help them bring the momentum into halftime.
And it's a certain skill to be able to run off the last fullback's shoulder and stay onside. So.
And that wraps it up for the first half here in Circle Pines. The Cougars leading it 1-0. We'll be back for the second half here on North Metro TV. And we are back for the second half of this Centennial Cougar Spring Lake Park matchup. The Cougars got up 1-0 here late in this first half. As we head into the second, the Cougars are hoping to continue what they did late on. Bill, it was exciting to see them come alive.
Yeah, I mean, Spring Lake Park really dominated the action the first 15, 20 minutes, got off 4 shots, and some of their younger players, their sophomores and the Noken brothers, really looked lively. But Centennial, before you knew it, had kind of settled into this game and eventually ended up shooting as many times as Spring Lake Park, 6 apiece in the first half, but they tested the goalkeeper, and that great shot by Garrett Anderson with just 4 minutes left before the halftime break is the difference.
battle on the far side of the field. Panthers recovering to get this one out of danger. And on the far side of the field, it dribbles out, and the Panthers, again, came out of the gates in the first half with all engines firing. We'll see if they can do that here in the second.
And a lot of times it is about effort, and it is about just winning those 50-50 balls, and Spring Lake Park, once they do that, obviously trying to keep possession, and they were able to do that in the first half. And so far in the second half, they also are starting on the front foot.
Panthers again with time, might have waited a hair too long. Works out for them. Knockin combining with his brother and losing it on that final pass.
Yeah, Stewart has to be careful. He almost lost it in the first half because he took too long on the ball to get rid of it. And you don't want to be caught in possession when you're the last line of defense like he is.
Throw in for the Cougars. That was Ladden. He's going to continue to work his way up this near side.
Jacob Noken, not a starter in this game in the first half, but starting in the second half after an impressive performance.
Yeah, it always helps. Coach gets to see what he's liking from those early minutes. Shot fired for the Cougars off the crossbar. And Hussein comes out of it with still this 1-0 score.
Cal Babish absolutely ringing the crossbar, and all he can do is hang his head, as you see here on the half volley. And actually, that's a great save by Hussein to tip it onto the bar.
Yeah,
terrific.
Looking out that it didn't. Sometimes I've seen it tip off the crossbar, and the way it bounces down and into the goal. So luckily for him, it bounces out.
Fifth save for Hussein.
Panthers just down by a goal and almost put down further just a few seconds ago as they look to get one of their own. They're first going to have to get the ball back and defend. Cougars sending it inside the box. Defense pushing it up the middle, bouncing ball as the Cougars wanting to bring it down.
And if he had scored that, talk about being down by 2 goals that are really terrific goals. Like neither of those goals from Anderson or the one that Babish might have scored would have been cheap.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't be saying, okay, what could we have done or what should we have done different? It was probably just respect of that was a beautiful goal. How do we get one of our own?
Right, tip your cap. But now they know that those 2 guys, they got to close them down at the top of the box. They can't give them room to shoot.
Ball sent to the top of the 18-yard box. Recovered, Knockin, sending it up the far side. The Cougars keeping possession. The Panthers try to work out of their own end.
You know, Blythe, the problem with Spring Lake Park not having much possession is Medic is just kind of wandering up top with nothing to do. They're not getting him the ball because they don't have possession of it in the midfield.
Panther throwing over the top of everyone. And Medic trying to track it down. Cougar defense getting it out. It's allowed them to get into this attack yet again.
And again, they just can't keep possession of it in the midfield. And that's very often where these games are won and lost.
Ball sent forward, the foot race. Panthers just about inside the box, sending it to the right side of the net. Yeah.
So Medic gets a shot, but because he's got no support up top, he's ultimately forced wide. But yeah, ultimately he was forced wide, and so the angle of the shot wasn't very good, and it was harmless. Ultimately, didn't trouble Verke.
throwing on the near side. This is Bogdan. Knocking, back to Bogan. They had that support pass again, so they send it back. Stewart. Panthers having possession, but didn't work up the field. They really just kept possession in just probably about a 10-yard span. As the Cougars fight on the far side, Panthers get the free kick. Knockin sending it back. And as the Panthers continue to try to work out of this 1-goal deficit, they're going to have to get some shots on net, but first they, of course, got to get into that final third. We haven't seen them really put an attack together in the second half.
Yeah, they're just trying to settle into this second half, and they're possessing better now. But yeah, in order to get their senior strikers or the strikers up top the ball, they first have to make sure that they're not turning it over in the midfield and leading to a counterattack, because they really don't want to go down by 2 goals.
Sending the ball up and out of bounds.
Especially against the Centennial team, right? We talked about their record. In all 5 of their wins, they haven't allowed a goal. Best goals against average in the state. So this is a team where, and Centennial knows that if they get a goal, you know, they're in a good position to win.
Trejo sending it to the support with time, switching the fields, and Knockin doesn't quite get it to go in the direction he wants it to. Cougars early throw as they combine in the attacking third, finding their way around the defense. But the Panthers at least got possession of it long enough to send this out, allow their team to come back and set up for this throw. And you can tell it's going to be a long one. Everyone's backing up. Inside the box, Panthers first 2. As the Cougars lock it in and try to strike from distance. Nice shot
fired. Ambitious. It was always going to need to be really good to score from there to beat Hussein from that kind of distance. And now in the second half, you know, as the sun continues to get lower and lower, Hussein's got to look right into that sun. So certainly an advantage for the Cougars as they attack that goal to the east.
Knockin trying to find his brother. They don't connect this time. And the Cougars back with possession. Ladin sending it up, and it's a race. Defense tracking back and letting this one go out of bounds. Smart play there by the defense. Deshaw.
Yeah, you always know that if the ball's running like that and you can get a step, if you just kind of slide in front of the player, you can run.
And it looks like they called it off of Deshaw? No. Yes?
I'm really surprised by it. It looked like he just stepped over it.
Yeah, he just stepped over it. I don't think he touched it, but referee, final call, and the Cougars will get an opportunity to put this one in the mix.
First corner of the game for Centennial.
Oh. Sends it, Panthers first 2, bouncing ball inside the box.
Oh, great save.
And this one pops out of bounds on the right side.
I believe Hussein went down to save that one. Yeah, it's a very important save with still a half hour left.
See that one again, ball bouncing.
I don't actually think it got to him. I think it was blocked. There was a shot, but it was blocked, so.
On the near side of the field, Cougars get stripped away. Referee calls it a corner again. Cougars get another chance to send this one past Hussein. Stepping over to take this corner kick. This is Garrett Anderson. He scored the goal for this squad earlier in the game today, sending it into the mix. Low ball, Panthers there.
Not a great corner by Anderson. He gets it back, however. And he can't keep it in. But, yeah, he'll always, obviously, on the corners want to get it past the first initial defender.
It's always tough not to take advantage or at least give yourself a chance on those set pieces when you get them.
Couple subs into the game for Spring Lake Park in Enzo Campadenico and Josh Nelson.
Panthers working, finding support, finding the space as they look to switch it. Dangerous switch, and a couple Cougars just about to be putting it right back on Hussein. They luck out there inside the box to give it up like that. That could have been bad.
Oh, way too casual from the goalie as he tried to just kind of play it out the back, and it went right to a Cougar. And now that's going to lead to another long throw from Anderson.
He didn't seem too nervous. I think you and I were probably more nervous for that than he seemed. Ball sent into the box, and Hussein.
Nice job coming off his line to claim that.
Yeah, stretching out, arms high, grips it down.
Always interesting to see whether they try to roll it out to a teammate or punt it. You know, certain goalies have certain styles that they like to play. Now Nelson kind of sitting in that sweeper role right in front of the back four. Ooh, a little shove in the back, gets away with it. And here comes Akinola.
Working with Medic, they're trying to find each other again.
Ooh.
Those guys are the ones that I was talking about earlier, the best of friends, both in possibly that competition for the all-state team as we get later into this year.
Good step, well read.
Yeah, defense able to step up for the Panthers and really stop the Cougars in their tracks, not allowing them to build. And that's important as we get later into this game. Again, Panthers down by a goal.
Oh, good turn. And well defended, though. Physical defending again from Deshaw.
Bogdan working on the near side. As this one rolls out the back line, a goal kick awarded to Hussein.
It's been, again, a fairly even contest, back and forth. Again, oh, he got so lucky. Goes through the attacker's legs for Centennial.
And on the near side, coming up, the Panthers working, finding Medic. Akinola, not quite the touch he wanted as the Cougars get possession on the far side. Panthers, some of those attacking players helping be that first defensive line to stop it right away. Again, just you don't allow the other team to continue once they get the ball back. You don't want them to just push the ball up the field and make your team running back on their heels. Akinola.
Oh, that's got to be.
Yanked.
It's got to be a foul, maybe.
Yeah, referee trying to settle things down. But that's what you need to do if you're a referee. You're going to make that call to make sure it doesn't continue to happen. You want to keep the game in check as we get further.
And you see, it's just a tactical foul to prevent Akinola from breaking away. So Ali certainly knew what he was doing, Ahmed Ali. And now, I'm not really sure why they're... Oh, this is just a designed play, but...
Akinola sending it up and over everyone, rolling out of bounds on the left side of the goal.
It's interesting. That was like a football thing where they all just sprinted, going deep almost, and having a bunch of runners to run onto it, but overhit and it goes out of play.
Yeah, unfortunate there for the Panthers. I think it would have done well for them if they would have stayed in line with the defense at least, to not have as much room that they had to run. tipped
Anderson
off the head.
Flicks it on, but nobody home. Again, just have to be careful with it in possession in the back line.
Here on the near side, the Panthers working together, finding those combinations before being stripped away. The Cougars, again, haven't allowed the Panthers to have the game that they had in the early minutes of the first half. They've really stepped it up, made sure that they've been there to shut down some of the possession that the Panthers had.
And a great job. I mean, we talk about Spring Lake Park being a little casual with it on the back line, but it's also a great job by Centennial and their forwards to press and force the issue.
Referee makes the call. Cougars
Second
going to have
foul.
a free kick.
Second foul of the game on Spring Lake Park. So again, it's been a relatively cleanly played game. Just 3 fouls on Centennial and 2 on Spring Lake Park.
This one a tricky one as the Cougars play it short, turning the corner and continuing on the run before being taken down. Referee forced to make the call, and definitely a needed call at that. Shove in the back.
Babish fouled by DeShaw, and Babish, he earned that foul by going by a couple Panther defenders and forcing the issue. Actually, I believe that was Stewart who committed the foul, but now great opportunity for Centennial.
And Cougars have the angle. They've made their way to be able to put this one on net. We'll see if they do just that. Low shot and deflected out of play. The Cougars will get yet another corner kick opportunity. They didn't do too well with those earlier ones in the second half. We'll see if they're able to put this into the mix and get something on it towards Hussein.
Yeah, Anderson low and hard. Wall did its job, but he does earn a corner for the Cougars. So 3 corners to none for Spring Lake Park.
Ball not making it past the first line of defense. The Panthers have done a great job stopping that time and time again in the second half.
And Anderson seems to really be favoring that low, hard free kick. And he does get a throw out of it. So
and he has a long one, that is for sure. Ball bouncing through the box. Panthers recover, and they tip it off of the Cougars, so they'll get possession.
That was a nice design play where you get it to the front of the box, the edge of the box, and it's flicked on backwards towards the middle. And there was a Cougar there, but Centennial just could not finish.
Ball sent towards Hussein. Another one that could have been dangerous, very far outside. Guess he came out to kick that one.
Yeah, Spring Lake Park living dangerously, trying to possess it, as that is indeed a good call on the handball. But every time Spring Lake Park is trying to play it out of the back, Centennial is just like a hair too slow to get there on the pass. So Cougars just need to keep pressing, and they might get something out of that.
That's Josh Nelson. He got pulled up from the JV team and now playing on the varsity team. He's had some good minutes. We saw him starting in the first half and now continuing with those minutes as Trejo for the Cougars, wanting to send that past the back line. Panthers shut it down.
Carrying it.
As they swing it to the near side, Panthers again trying to keep possession. This time not quite keeping it out of the reach of the Cougars.
We're just about the midway point of the second half, so Spring Lake Park needing to play with urgency at this point to try to tie it up here on the road if they hope to get any points out of this one. These two teams close to each other in the conference. Spring Lake Park 7th in the Northwest Suburban, and Centennial sitting 5th. Just 1 point separating the two, though, in the standings in a very tightly packed conference table. And Blythe, this is an important game for Centennial. They want to win this game. They've got a tough remaining stretch of games against Park Center, Maple Grove, Champlin Park, all teams ahead of them in the table.
Yeah, and the Spring Lake Park team has taken on a few of those and had it handed to them. So they've also shown how tough that competition is going to be here for the Cougars in the games to come.
Berkey forced to just like boot it out there after it was played back to him, and he gives Spring Lake Park a corner as he just wanted to get rid of it here. You see this, and it's charging down on him, and he decided to wisely just kick it away.
So you can see the shade on this side of the field, a lot different than what Hussein is dealing with as the sun, like you said, Bill, getting lower and possibly going to play a factor as it's in his eyes.
When Orono, if memory serves, the sun doesn't affect either goaltender. It's because the field is north-south, right? And so from what I can remember as a broadcaster, you're like staring into it.
I think you're right. I don't really remember it causing an issue one way or the other, but gosh, it makes me feel old. That feels like forever ago.
It's a sunny field. Blythe, of course, former Orono star, state champion for the Spartans.
Loved playing under the lights, so maybe that's why I don't remember it. Love the night games.
Night games are great. Did you like playing in the rain when it was like pouring too? I always, when I played club ball in high school, I always loved being a goalie on like a muddy field when it was raining. That was fun.
I certainly tried to embrace it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't it wasn't.
Not preferable.
Yes, I love it, but it certainly felt epic if it was, especially under the lights and the rain's coming down, just brought the intensity a few notches up. But the Cougars, long ball inside the box. Panthers coming away with it, back in possession. A look to work out of the defense.
Nelson got his foot stepped on there.
And that never feels good.
Nope.
Especially there's certain cleats that feel a lot thinner than others when you get your foot stepped on. You got some leather cleats. Normally it doesn't feel quite as bad, but another player down as well.
A couple Panthers shaking up on the play. They got the cart today.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Attending to him with speed. But yeah, I later in my career I don't even know what maybe like synthetic fabric, I don't know what it is when it's not leather, those other type of cleats, but I had those and I really liked them to feel on the ball, how I was able to strike it, because your laces were sometimes more covered in those. But when someone steps on it, it felt like they were the thinnest boot I'd ever had. Like, oh my gosh, I miss my other ones, but.
Does not feel good.
Hopefully. For the Panthers, a couple of guys are going to recover quickly. Able to get him carted off the field, like you said. They got the speed to get over there, where sometimes you're seeing them having to run out and try to help carry them off the field. They had the vehicle.
Yeah, I like that innovation. That's good. Yep, that was Connor Bogdan, who was helped off via the golf cart. This game is, I feel like, drawn down in intensity from the first half. Just 17 minutes left.
Referees dropping the ball. Panthers look to work out of their own end, knocking it out of bounds. Cougars coming to throw it in. Trying to get tricky. You see him slot it behind him, but working together, the Cougars are finding the openings until not able to get his foot on it, and this ball is rolling out of bounds.
Josh Nelson putting in some good minutes in this second half in central midfield. Coming up from JV, as you said.
Yeah, it's always nice to see some guys get some quality minutes, and it looks like they'll get more. Slotted. Hussein coming out, laying on it to make that save.
That was some physical defending again from Jonah DeShaw. just kind of warding off that player as Anderson found the striker in the middle of the box, and thankfully for Spring Lake Park, Shaw was able to let Hussein get to it first.
Arcing ball into the box. Cougars. Strong first touch, and that one bounces back to the Panthers.
But notice, Blythe, all of this play for like the last 10 minutes has been in the Panthers' half and even in their final third. So certainly Spring Lake Park, if they're hoping to come back and level this one up, that has to change.
And what we talked about earlier in the game of just how much their ability to possess the ball has helped them throughout the season. We're not seeing that in the remainder of the game. We saw it in those early, probably 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes in the first half, and now the possession has certainly been waning as this game has drawn on. Working his way against a couple of defenders. That was Dragic.
And they get it right back. Nice move by Anderson. Such unselfish play, too. Just looking to center it from that wing position.
The Cougars wanting to get a cross off. Panther defense stop him in his tracks and send that one over the fence and towards the trees. You want to get it out, so sometimes you just get it all the way out.
That's what I'm saying. And certainly, you know, Nelson and DeShaw have been doing that all game. Just, you know, absolutely making no mistake. Like, I'm going to get this out of bounds and way out of bounds. Into the pine trees here at Cougar Stadium. A little surprised they gave him a corner there, but I thought it would have been a throw.
I thought it went out the side, but
yeah.
Nonetheless, into the box and off the head towards Hussein, who's able to make the save.
Babish again. Babish again looking for his 5th goal. As you see this beautiful corner kick sent in. Babish a free header, but Hussein gets down to his left and makes the stop. Beautiful save.
Yeah, Hussein has been there on those balls that we thought there would be a chance of him making a save. This one sent just wide on the left. But we both agree that on that goal that actually happened, it seemed like it was an unsavable goal. It seemed just to perfection. And so for him, he has been able to come up and make those saves that he's needed to and that he's able to get to. He hasn't bobbled anything.
Yeah, he's kept his team in this game, and Josh Nelson needing to come off now, not recovered from that being stepped on. So he's gonna hop in the cart, go for, or he's just gonna walk off. He's like, I'm fine. But
yeah, the cart really wanted him to get on though.
But yeah, that shot, Babish again, just you can tell his frustration as he's trying to get on that score sheet. But yeah, Hussein has absolutely kept his team in this game. But in this second half, I mean, unofficially, shots 5-1 in favor of Centennial. So, and it's reflected in the amount of possession in this half.
So the Cougars now having to defend. They haven't had to do too much in the second half as far as that back line is concerned. Coming across, Cougars stepping in between and off to the races they go. Twisting and spinning to keep possession. The Cougars on the far side looking to turn the corner. Slotting it into the box. But again, not quite able to get that last touch. What they need to slot it on net.
Good turn.
As the Cougars look to work their way inside the box. Shot fired again to the left side of the net.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of shots from tight angles that just have gone into the side netting, so.
And that's where you want to be unselfish again. Yes, maybe you don't have that runner, so maybe I'm trying to think back. But if he could just slot this to the top of the 18-yard box.
Right, pull it back. Not enough pullback in terms of getting it in toward the end line, because that is the strategy, right? To get it to the end line and then pull it back when all the defenders have been drawn down.
that's what I would do a lot. Like I said, I wanted that ball over the top, but then that's what I was doing, working the end line to play it back up towards the top of the box.
And the defense is, right, exactly, and the defense is always turned as well.
Inside the box, Cougars shot deflected, and up over the crossbar it goes.
I feel bad for Cal Babish because, again, every time he takes a shot and can't get it to go, he just throws his head back as you see his frustrations. What do I got to do to get a goal? That one was deflected out of play. As you see here, it falls to him, and again on the half volley, but he just kind of chunks it over. And Hussein lets it go. Raft of substitutions coming up for Centennial. They've only got a 1-goal lead, but it certainly feels like they're well in control of this game.
Yeah, and I would not have thought that that would feel like it does right now with how the game started. Spring Lake Park came out of the gates, all engines firing, and we have seen a dramatic change in what they're doing, but as well as a dramatic change for what the Cougars have been able to do. But on the near side, Panthers unable to get out of their own end. Cougars continue to lock it in. Throw in on the near side. This one is going to be from Larson.
Anderson, after a brief rest, back in there. And for my money, he's been the man of the match, right? If you're gonna give a player of the match, he's been it for me. Scored the first goal, and he's really controlled things. There's a shot from distance by Minty Shea. It's blocked down. But yeah, I think Anderson, we've called his name a lot tonight, taking corners, doing throws, scoring goals. I mean, he's been.
The corners might not be his highlight of the evening, but yes, he certainly has had an impact on the squad to help them into this 1-0 lead. And again, as you think about just what that looks like, him being a senior, having the leadership for the Cougars, it's helped them find themselves.
There's a reason he's got the captain's armband on. You know, you can tell with him and Verke.
Ladden sends this in.
Time's running out now. I mean, we're inside 10 minutes to play, so.
And the Cougars on the far side wanting to combine. Panthers are there to stop it, and back and forth action as he tries to split a couple of them, but the Cougars come out with it. These guys wanting to bring the ball down and keep possession for just a few moments. It seems to have been difficult for either team.
It's interesting looking at the different benches because you've got Spring Lake Park, you know, they're all sort of sitting there, and whereas Centennial standing, they're all standing, seemingly actively engaged in it. So it's just a contrast in styles. You know, not that one is right or wrong. It's just interesting in the bench dynamics.
And even if you're not going to stand, because my team probably, I don't know if the bench, if they stood, but something that I just think of is just energy. You're looking at them, hey, they're just down by a goal. There's still 8 minutes in the game. You want them to be cheering their teammates on, and definitely seems a little defeated if you're looking at that Spring Lake Park bench.
Yeah, no doubt. Fourth time that Medic was whistled for offside in this game, none on Centennial. But right idea. Again, they're just trying to play those passing triangles and get someone in on goal. Akinola has not had nearly as much of an impact in this second half, however, and he is someone that need to be a contributor.
Verke coming out. Not too tough of a save, but he gets there.
Well, when you're in 8th grade, at the very least, you've got speed very often and you've got energy. So you may not have the size of a senior, but you definitely can put in the work rate.
2 guys on his back. He sends this one back. As the Panthers able to combine, knocking, wanting to find Dragic. Zlatan. I'm glad he didn't use the keeper. Sometimes guys still would have sent that one back, and it looked like it would have been tough with the momentum of the Cougars pushing forward.
Yeah, and very often when you're a possession-based team like Spring Lake Park, you do go and play it back through the keeper.
And oftentimes it is the right decision, but there are certainly times like that one where it's like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be coming right back.
To me, that's on the keeper to know when to ask for it and offer yourself as an available outlet, and when to say no, go outside.
Yeah, turn, do something. Don't come here. We're closed.
No matter, even in the Premier League, if you don't have a properly weighted back pass, the person, an opponent can run onto it and tap it past your goalie, and that's just a terrible, terrible feeling.
Cougars get a free kick. They're going to be sending this one in the box.
Anderson going to take it.
Ball sent in. Cougars were able to have the first touch, but not in the direction they needed. Panthers.
Ooh, here we go.
Coming away. Akinola sending it up to Medic. Medic finding that far side. Trying to turn the corner. The defense comes up big time here for Centennial.
Well defended by Trejo, but Akinola with the speed down the wing. I mean, it's definitely, I think, Spring Lake Park right now. I know they like to possess, but I think their best chance to level this game is on the counter.
Yeah, we felt that build-up for them just a few moments ago. As we get later in this game, 4:43 remaining. We've seen goals happen with just seconds on the clock. So we know it's possible for the Spring Lake Park team to try to tie it up. However, they're gonna have to do something drastic. It seems like they really haven't gotten into that final third and made an impact in that final third in quite some time. And so this Panther team is really gonna have to pick themselves up, and possibly, as you were saying, it might come from just some energy from the bench, their energy from their teammates believing in them, that this is possible.
Hussein, again, coming out decisively to claim it and wisely getting it to the feet of Akinola.
Akinola trying to find Medic. So they're gonna work from their back line. Cougars getting a touch on it. Again, that's the biggest thing oftentimes a forward can do. How can you lock it in, stop that build up by the other team, so your defenders don't even have to get into the mix? How do you just stop them right away?
Yeah, prevent any kind of build up, right? And how do you also hold it up if it comes to you, right? And let your teammates join. But yeah, if I'm Centennial, I just take my time taking these throws, and I'm in no hurry with just 3:14 left.
Panthers able to find Lierzon. As they combine, finding their way out of the back, having to go 1v1. They get around him. Onto the far side. They look to push, shoving it up that far sideline. And the Panthers inside the box, but they don't combine. And again, unfortunately for the Panthers, no shot fired, not having to test Verke, and he hasn't had to make a save the majority of the second half. He hasn't seen that impact of what he can do.
He's barely touched the ball, to your point, and but it's crazy to think that, even though Centennial has really bossed this second half, they still only have a 1-goal lead. So Spring Lake Park very much can tie this game in the last 2 minutes. And that would really feel like a big win for the Mannings and this Panther club, because Coming on the road and winning here is never easy.
Ball sent deep. This one being tracked down by Stewart. He's turning right into the defense, but he comes away with at least the ability to shove it out the sideline. A lot of Cougars subbing in. 3 guys coming in for the final 1 minute and 41 seconds. Ball thrown in by Ladin. Knocking.
Ooh. Yep, that was a foul.
Found Aknola, but he was quickly taken down as the Cougars collapsed. Aknola.
Just a little bit late as Babish left something on him.
Cougars get the touch as they shove down the defender. Referee lets them play on. Panthers gaining possession back and a much needed possession. Only 58 seconds. Again, we're getting down. Yes, they're only down a goal, but really it's going to come down to is there any time on the clock? And that is waning.
Good to see Bogdan back for the last minute.
As the Panthers look to push, referee forced to call this.
Well, that's a smart play by the Centennial defender, just to shield off and kind of get in the way and then fall over as he's collides with the leaping Panther.
20 seconds remaining in this game.
And if Spring Lake Park can't score, this would be the 6th win by shutout of the season for Centennial.
Medic. As this one rounds out the game complete. Cougars win it 1-0 on their home turf.
Cal Anderson, player of the match, a thunderous goal late in the first half, and ultimately that's all Centennial needed. And they moved to 6-2-1 on the season with the win.
Yeah, Garrett Anderson, phenomenal job for the senior in proving his leadership tonight. But this was just the first part of our doubleheader tonight. The ladies will be playing later. But Bill, what do you think the Cougars are going to have to bring with them here to their next game?
Well, I think Centennial has to be pleased with how they responded after kind of initially being back on their heels against this Panthers club that came ready to play. Centennial regrouped nicely, ended the first half with some momentum, and then really carried that into the second half. What I think they're going to want to work on is finishing their chances, right? Babish hit the crossbar and had some other missed opportunities, but ultimately they made the most of their chances, and they took the one that counted, and that was via Garrett Anderson. And I think a lot of positive things for the Cougars to take away, but it's really going to be all about that defense for Centennial moving forward.
And yeah, I completely agree. And these Cougars will get to play some more this season, but that does it here for this Cat Clash. We'll be back for the ladies matchup after this. with you here in Circle Pines, Minnesota on North Metro TV for our second Cat Clash of the evening. The Centennial Cougars taking on the Spring Lake Park Panthers. And these ladies, they've matched up time and time again. So we're looking forward to seeing them out there under the lights tonight. But I'm Blythe Whaley alongside my broadcast partner, Bill Hupp. And again, we are having the perfect day for soccer. This weather couldn't be any better. The lights are on, and who doesn't want to play soccer? I know I do. I could get out there.
Yeah, and Centennial ranked 3rd in the state right now, coming in with a record of 8-0. They love playing soccer right now. Ton of college commits on their team. They've been a powerhouse program since 2018. And they are just looking to keep it rolling. They beat Spring Lake Park 4-0 at Spring Lake Park last year, and they're hoping to do the same against the Panthers this year. But like you said, beautiful night for soccer. A little on the cooler side. We're definitely into fall now.
Yeah,
but
I had to pull out the jacket before the game started here tonight. So the press box is getting chilly, but these ladies are going to be feeling great. The temperature perfect for soccer as you get moving. But off to this start, the Spring Lake Park Panthers supporting the all-white look tonight. The Centennial Cougars in red and black. And as the Panthers look to work out of their defensive end, they're working from right to left on your screen. Panthers working from left to right as they push this ball out to the near side, and the Cougars will have the throw-in.
Panthers, very important for them to score today, Blythe. They've been shut out in their 6 losses. They're 3-6 on the season, and when they don't score, obviously tough to win if you don't score. And so Centennial, of course, has only given up 1 goal a couple times this season.
So this ball pushed far out in front of the forwards. Keeper having to come out to make the save. That's Brooke Gorish for the Panthers. The Cougars have been known to score goals in bunches, so we'll see what that looks like in this early part of the first half.
Yeah, Centennial certainly known for their scoring prowess. They haven't given up more than a single goal in a game this season, so obviously they've pitched 5 shutouts, so they're certainly capable defensively, and they're just an all-around really solid program, and that's after losing Miss Soccer from last year to Minnesota. So this is a team that is deep and loaded with talent for head coach Krista Carlson.
Ball sent up. Gorish coming out for her team to get this one out the near side. Throw-in coming for the Cougars.
Blythe, you said you liked to play under the lights growing up, right?
Oh yes, there's no better feeling. It feels like you're on a stage. Just all eyes on you, the lights are on, and I mean, just the consistency too. Like we talked about in the guys game, the sun isn't in your eyes. You're not dealing with any of that. It's just the consistency, just like the turf is consistent, how that ball's bouncing.
Yeah, for sure.
As the Cougars look to turn in the center of the field, got some space. This is Cubes, able to work it to that near side. Give and go. They find their way up the field. Bordson stopped up by the Panthers, but the Cougars still in the driver's seat.
There's a lot of one-touch passing from the Cougars. It doesn't stay in their feet for long. And a lot of short passes. They maintain their shape in terms of their team structure really well. And that's super important.
Ball sent forward as the Panthers track it down. That's Jordan Metz in net for the Cougars.
Just a sophomore, so again, this kind of program, you have senior leadership and talent, but you also have talent at all grade levels. And that's how you maintain consistency. That's how they've had a 32-5 record as a program since 2018.
Ball pushed up, Panthers combining in the middle of the field. But look at all the space Cubes has.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about in the boys' game, Centennial, how much their high pressing didn't allow Spring Lake Park's back line to have much time to pass it out. But in this game, Centennial's back line just has all kinds of time to look up, find their teammates, and play it through the midfield. And whoever controls the midfield, that's ultimately who's going to win this game. You know, because that's going to lead to offensive opportunities. And so Spring Lake Park just has to try to hold their own. They know they're coming in playing a highly ranked team on the road.
Through the middle of the field, this one switches to the near side and combining. That's McKenna Monson. Slotting that through ball. Brooklyn Bordson in the box, shot fired, and just saved by the fingertips of Gorish.
Surprised she has fingertips after that blast. That was a drive from Bordson. Nice little 1-2. She managed to take a wicked shot moving to her right, but a great save by Gorish.
I almost felt like Paul Allen just about to call that one early as this one looked like a sure goal from Brooklyn Bordson.
Well, I think if she had put it to either side of Gorish, she might have scored, but it was right at Gorish, and Gorish was able to just palm it down and make the stop. Great topical reference with Paul Allen.
I felt like everyone was making such a big deal about it, and I felt like it was a normal call. Like it looked like, you know, it's going up. He was excited, he wanted it, but quickly corrected himself.
Yep.
Free kick coming for the Panthers. Nobody on it, just straight through everyone. And Metz will bring out the kick here.
So one shot and one save for Centennial.
See the spacing here for the Cougars as Metz sends this one up.
And that's the sign of a good team, right, is that they can maintain their space. Look at the speed by Bordson.
Yeah, Bordson slotting this one up and trickling out of bounds just in front of Marissa Frost. And that's always tough because you could feel that buildup by Centennial. And of course, wanting to be able to keep it in play. I'm guessing they called it offsides as they bring this ball back. There wasn't any contact, so.
Yep, I didn't see the flag go up on the far side, but yeah, it must have been offsides.
Fought in the middle. Cubes sends this one forward. Frost gonna bring it down to the turf. Might have touched it too far in front, and she did. So it'll be a goal kick for Gorish.
Yeah, Frost heavy on the touch there, but they're clearly wanting to attack down this left wing.
Lucky break for the Panthers, though, having a couple of these attacks by the Cougars rolling far in front of them, because we've seen what they can do when they combine. Bordson sends it on over. Allis in the box, shot fired, and Gorish is there. Gorish, another massive save.
First corner of the game for Centennial, but Gorish coming off her line to deny Allis, and Brooke Gorish, that's not going to be the last time she's tested here tonight. Great pass across, and Allis gets it out of her feet, but Gorish cuts down the angle.
Allis sending it into the box, up and over. Frost is able to bring it down to the turf. Ricocheting off of the Panthers, and this one out of bounds, and the Cougars will have another chance at it.
That's another thing that Spring Lake Park's going to have to do. They're going to have to get in their way and block shots, because they can't just rely on Gorish to make save after save against this Cougar attack.
Ball sent towards Gorish. She tips it out, and the defense helps her clear it.
And I think she's being smart by being so aggressive with those crosses, reaching out and palming it free, getting it away from the danger zone.
Cubes with space, sends it over to the near side. Taking her touch, Monson gives it up to Bordson. The defense of the Panthers step through, but the Cougars get it back. Bordson playing cubes with space. She's gonna take it. Finding her way to the middle of the field, and she's striking. Saw in her stats that she now has a goal on the season, and you see why, as she is coming up far from that back line.
Yeah, she thought she'd have a go from distance, but again, it's gonna have to be a really special shot to beat the keeper from that far out.
Tight defense on her back, doesn't allow her to turn.
So much communication and talking out there. You can just hear the kids talking to each other, communicating when they're open, and that's how they maintain such organization out there on the pitch.
Monson dishing it off. Bordson, 1v1. She's gonna try to split the D. She sends it over to Allis. Allis looking for the shot. As the Panthers yet again come out of it.
Already 5 shots unofficially for Centennial, and we're not even, we're barely 10 minutes into this game.
Monson into Bordson. Bordson playing it back to Cubes. Again, Cubes doing a great job finding her space and sensing that she's not guarded.
And she is just trying to play those incisive through balls, right? I mean, just trying to pick out her forward attackers.
And especially when you're given that much space, might as well. You have
Right.
the time to do so.
Right, pick out a pass.
Throwing on the far side, Cougars not able to make the turn, and Panthers will have the throw. Looks like substitution comes in for the Panthers. Fresh legs to the back line. Probably needed, since the Cougars have spent the majority of the time making them work back there. Gorish stepping up, much needed touch on that, as Frost is gonna work her way on this near side.
Oh, the rare obstruction call as trying to let it run out. So second foul on Centennial of the half.
Free kick coming for the Panthers. They send it up. Bordson misses it. But fighting the battle to bring it down to the turf. She gets it.
Bordson's so good in that midfield position, isn't she? Just in terms of directing traffic and playing balls out wide.
Yeah, certainly can tell when she is out there in control.
She's very calm on the ball too.
Yeah, certainly a very composed player throughout her time with the Cougars. As they get the turn, Frost up this near side, wanting to split the defenders. She gets it inside the box, wanting to find just one more. Almost looked like she would have been better off taking the shot.
That's what I thought.
Point.
Yeah, that's what I thought. As she had an angle, defenders had gone by her, trying to unselfishly play her teammates across, but I thought the better decision would have been just to shoot it.
Panthers had possession until knocking it out. Monson getting a couple of balls thrown at her, so she had to pick one. Cougars wanting to find a rip. That was Van Zee looking to turn the corner, but Cubes keeping it in play, sends it up to Frost. Van Zee slotting it to Bordson. Bordson trying to go through about 3 defenders before one of them finally strips it from the Cougars. And the Panthers haven't been doing a great job of combining here in this first half. You see it right there, giving it back to the Cougars immediately after they got the ball.
Yeah, possession right now has been about 80% Centennial in the early going.
They find that outside lady. They look to switch the field. Bordson, long first touch. Hamsky saving her as Cubes again, taking her space, dribbling around a few defenders. And Monson trying to get the nutmeg.
And they have no problem playing it back through that back line and going again.
Monson got sandwiched between a few Panthers. As the defense there for Spring Lake Park steps up, that was Megan Olson. Ball shot, and Gorish is having to crouch down to collect. Nothing too crazy compared to the other shots that she had to save tonight.
Gorgeous sunset to our left here at Cougar Stadium.
Gotta like that if you're a spectator.
Yep. Great night to watch a soccer game.
If you're playing, you might not notice it.
Or if you are, you shouldn't be.
Yeah. Shot fired, and Gorish again crouching and getting that low dribbler.
Yeah, Gorish has saved 4 of the 7 shots that she has faced, still pitching a shutout, but definitely been tested. Not lately though. Those last 2 pretty comfortable for her.
Abby Johnson on the near side for the Panthers, getting pushed off the ball.
She wanted a foul, but none was coming.
And I mean, if I was the ref, I probably wouldn't have called that either. I mean, there's just slight contact,
No,
but
there wasn't
that's
much
soccer at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah, some of it's sort of incidental what happens as you're jostling for a loose ball.
Metz with the goal kick. She decides to go short this time. Bordson able to make the turn.
Really nice skill from Bordson.
Cubes again with space, and she is taking it. A miscommunication on the near side between her and Monson, and the ball finds its way back to the Panthers. Into the face there, that never feels good. As the Cougars continue to combine, finding that outside runner, switching the field, creating this space that we've seen.
What a ball outside of the boot.
Up the field, and I believe that's Allis working her way through the box as she found her way to the ground. Gorish.
As she fell down, it actually bounced up and hit her in the face, but she seems to be okay.
Again, any time when the ball ricochets in any direction, but it ends up hitting you in the face, it's definitely jarring. I had a few of those happen in my playing days.
It's hard to play for as long as people do and not have it happen. As you see here, she just trips on, and it kind of glances up, and you see the clearance kind of goes right into her face. But she seems to be okay. Great ball.
Ball bouncing through. Frost into the box. She slots it one more on over Van Zee. Another slot in the side netting for the Cougars. Doesn't quite end up in the results they wanted. Again, it looked like maybe that first initial touch from Frost could have been a shot on net.
Yeah, again, she didn't have the greatest angle, and so I think she decided that it would be better to just play it across. But by the time it got to the right side, then into the side netting. First substitutions of the game for the Cougars.
Goal kick for the Panthers, stopped up quickly by Van Zee. Shot over the crossbar.
Not even midway through this first half, already 9 shots for Centennial.
I feel like our head is going to be having a kink in our neck from just the whole game. We're on this left side of our screen.
Well, this is a team that expects to make a deep run into October and, at least make it to the state tournament. As we said, ranked 3rd. Obviously, the Edinas and Minnetonkas of the world, Rosemounts, are strong as well. Stillwater, a very good team. And in fact, Maple Grove, another Northwest Suburban Conference foe, will present a stiff challenge for Centennial. They got big games coming up against the Crimson and against the Ponies.
Back line for Centennial doing exactly what they need to, and that's getting the ball back up to those midfielders. More substitutions for the Panthers. Brianna Finnegan being one of those entering the game. As both teams battling on the far side, Cougars sending it up and over everyone in the foot race. Van Zee collecting and into the box she goes. She had to be stopped up though, and that definitely halted the momentum that the Cougars had out of that. But Hamsky, deep shot, bouncing ball, and Gorish seemed composed to be able to grab that.
Yeah, and she's getting behind each of these shots, so it's not going to necessarily bounce off of her and into the goal. So she's playing technically sound goalkeeping for the Panthers. Just really hard to break down that midfield, isn't it? For Centennial, they really just control things so nicely.
Yeah, and again, you're seeing Allis race her way into the box, finding Bordson, who's able to turn. She makes that look easy. Dribbled off and into the goal. That one ricocheting in on this left side, but Bordson gets credit for this, and the Cougars open the floodgates.
Yeah, Bordson created a little bit of space and managed to just hit it hard enough, even though Gorish got a fingertip to it, managed to trickle through her fingertips and into the goal. So nice job by Alice to share it to her. She gets just enough space and enough power behind that shot to get it past Gorish. So great team goal for Centennial.
Just about 19 minutes left in this first half, and the Cougars strike. Now they've given themselves that goal to, at least for all of this effort and all of this possession they've had, have something reward or some reward from that.
Indeed, 11 shots in the first half and made that one count.
Cubes having to come over to halt this attacker from the Panthers. She got taken down, but you see just how collective that back line is for Centennial. One goes down and they still are able to find their way to halt up this Panther attack.
Yeah, just the depth and quality, right? One isn't able to make the play, but the next one's really good too, and she makes the play.
I feel like they're very good at also communicating without talking sometimes. It's just how well they know each other and what they're doing. But a free kick coming for the Cougars. It's sent up. Brooklyn Bordson able to bring it down. Racing, wanting to turn the corner, and this is touched out of play. Anderson, what they call it, looks like it's going to be a corner, and I would agree with that.
Second of the game for Centennial.
Centennial known in years past for their ability to have some tricky corners. Haven't seen too much of that yet this season. We haven't been able to cover every game, but we'll see if they're back at those corners this time. Into the box, Van Zee not quite getting a shot off.
More of a traditional one there. Good ball, but cleared by SLP.
I know, and I think that might be just a coaching change thing. You know, some coaches are more up to putting some tricks in those set pieces, where I haven't seen that happen here this year, and that is something that's different. Of course, they have their new coaching staff.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, some training ground moves, as they're known. Some coaches like to, do a sort of design plays, kind of catch the defense off guard, and some are more just, traditional with their approach. Those are always fun to see, though, especially when they come off.
Yeah, they've had some great ones in the past that have been just astonishing what they've pulled off. But it makes sense for all the success this program has that they had some tricks up their sleeve. Boardson sending the bullet up the middle. And Van Zee, unfortunately, sends this one lofting up and over.
Man. Gorish was off her line. She collided. Van Zee had an open net, but she rushed it just a bit and hooked it over. She definitely wishes she had that one back. As you see, all three get there at the same time, and then Van Zee probably had more time than she thought, but she just looped it over the top of the goal.
And she just wanted to get anything on it. She was like, oh, open net. And of course, sometimes that means you're leaning back as you're hitting it, as we saw there.
And really, she could have just like hit a pass basically into the net.
Even towed it, you know what I mean? Like just barely toe poke, because it would have just stayed on the ground at least.
Exactly.
Boardson sending it back, using that support as the Cougars swing.
Sorry, Blythe. Boardson's speed to create that in the first place, definitely. The turn in the middle of the park with space, just absolutely wonderful skill.
Cougars still with it, combining. Van Zee looking to build it up.
The scoreline is the boys' game right now. Centennial 1-0.
Yeah, they struck just a little bit closer to that halftime mark. So the Cougars at least got off to a little bit of a quicker start than the guys did.
Yeah. But what a great job by the fullback to get up and have the confidence to take the space when it's available to you. That's what you want to see. Not every fullback is as comfortable with the ball at their feet.
On the far side, the Panthers seem to have a player down. Referee's going to blow the whistle for this injury.
We'll see if the cart comes out.
Yeah, a little bit closer to the side, so maybe he won't drive the cart. We'll see. It looks like he's walking up. Hopefully she's all right. Looks like she's able to walk off with him here.
Couple substitutions coming in for each team.
14 minutes, 15 seconds separate us from halftime. Cougars leading it 1-0. And by the looks of this game, it seems like the Panthers are lucking out with just that 1-0 deficit. The Cougars have had quite a bit of possession in this first half.
Yeah, some of the balls like that, just a little too heavy, a little too much for their teammates to try to run onto.
Boardson touching it over to Aulis. Aulis finding the middle. Into the box they go. And the defense toes it out.
Nice job by Megan Olson, the junior, to come over and clean up the danger. But again, another chance and a great ball by Aulis.
Corner kick coming for the Cougars. Another great opportunity for them to try to stretch out this lead. Aulis taking the corner for the Cougars, finding the first touch. But this one sailing out of play. And Gorish.
Yeah, she just blasted it over. First one at the near post, but ultimately just hammered over the top.
They get the goal kick here, and Gorish doesn't take it this time. Lets the defense play it up for her. When
you were playing, did you prefer to attack from the right or the left, or were you central?
I I usually was on the right, and then I did end up switching to the left, because when you're on the left side, you can cut to the middle, like, and have that hard shot with your right foot. But when you're on the right side, you're cutting to the middle with your left.
Right.
So I don't know, I switched it up in college and was on the left quite a bit. But I guess, I don't know, it was both to some extent.
Yeah, well, players usually play in multiple positions. They just have their favorite.
That would be my favorite. Coach would definitely try to find the even slower defender to put me again, just so that the speed would be that much more of a drastic thing. So whoever seemed more tired, they'd switch me to that side of the field.
So you could attack the more tired defender. That's smart.
Or just who wasn't used to it too, because sometimes it catches people off guard.
That's true. Another corner for the Cougars. Really just attacking down the right wing now. And trying to convert this. They would love to go into halftime with a 2-goal lead.
As again, Allis sets up to take the corner. Sending it up and over, no one on this far side to keep it in play. And that's tough. My coach would always tell me to round out that run so that you can be behind it.
Yep, far post instead of near post this time. It was a good ball, just no one to get on the end of it.
Allis heads to the bench. We'll take a moment here before half. As the Cougars switch it through the middle, long shot deep, and 3 points awarded for this one.
Yeah, that was ambitious from Van Zee, but not a bad idea. Not that far away either.
Yeah, and proving that she has the boot to get it there, of course. That one's sailing plenty far to make that.
I mean, why not? You're dominating the game. It's okay to take efforts like that when you're in such control.
Van Zee in the mid, wanting to push it up that far side. Another substitution here for the Panthers coming in. That's Schaefer coming in for the Panthers as they throw it in. 9 minutes, 17 seconds. Left in the first half. Cougar throwing on the far side.
Nice pass.
As the Cougars tracking just outside of the box, shot ricocheting off, and they'll call this offsides.
They're lucky because that could have been a handball. I mean, definitely hit a SLP defender, but Bordson again making some space and firing a lefty shot.
And I believe that build-up, that last one was from Tatum Treadle. As Tatum Treadle again with the speed, sends it towards Gorish, and she saves it.
Well, she was going toward the end line, put on the jets to and got off a quick shot. Almost caught Gorish out, but she had her near post covered and made a nice save.
Bordson lays it up to Van Zee. Van Zee sends it in.
Couldn't tell whether that was a cross or a shot, but
I think it was a shot. I just don't think she got the amount of force she wanted on it. Let's take a look at this last one, Tatum Treadle.
yeah, look at the speed. Just puts on the burst, gets enough separation, and then tries to sneak it past Gorich, who again, had her body behind it and able to make the save despite the hard shot.
Credit to the defense, though, for the Panthers helping Gorish clear that out so she didn't have another shot sent towards her, because otherwise that probably would have been a 2-0 game if that happened.
Rebound. Exactly.
Van Zee able to stop it as the Panthers try to work the ball into their attacking end. Not too much time spent here, and you can see why, as the Cougars just about able to clear it there. Panthers will keep possession this time, and a throw-in coming from Megan Olsen. Panthers looking to turn. Bortson double teams to help the Cougars get the ball back. She turns and looks to help create space for her teammates, sending that support pass.
Ooh.
Unlucky there, as the Panthers now find themselves in position to take it to the Cougars. Jordan Metz having to come out to grab the ball out of the air, and Metz really not having to do a whole lot in this first half. 6 minutes, 28 seconds left. But that could have been very, very detrimental to the Cougars.
Brianna Finnegan getting the first 2 shots of the game for SLP.
Monson, ball sent across, and Gorish comes out for the save. Gorish clears it out, sending it up towards the half. Cougars are able to collect. This is Monson up to Bordson. Some space. She continues to weave her way around a couple of defenders. Tatum Treadle, shot fired, and crossbar. As they continue to battle it out, Panthers find that outside line.
She obviously likes to be on that favored left foot, turned nicely, and got a wicked shot off that rang that crossbar. So the iron unkind for Centennial here late in the first half. 19 first half shots for Centennial.
And not surprising with how much possession and attack this team has had throughout the game. Van Zee working her way up. Credit to the Panthers. They have been able to touch a few of these out of bounds to stop that buildup by the Cougars. And that keeps us at a 1-0 game.
Yeah, I mean, Spring Lake Park has to be, they would love to get to the halftime break, obviously just down one goal. On the road against the top-ranked, one of the top-ranked teams in the state.
Ball switched over. Monson coming up to keep possession. Treadle collecting back towards goal, wanting to turn. The tight defense, she's able to split it, but the Panthers clearing. Finding the support. Cougars on the outside. They're working their way up this field with ease. You see them splitting defense time and time again. Shot fired. Bordson finds the back of the net. Yet again, Cougars up 2-0. Bordson, phenomenal game so far, and she's rewarded.
Yeah, maybe not the prettiest goal she's ever scored, but it's effective, and she just puts herself in the right position at the near post and manages to tap it in. 3:55 left. As you see the replay here, squared to Bordson, and she just fired it in. Actually, that wasn't Bordson. It wasn't Bordson, it was Treadle who got that one, 22. And Treadle gets the goal. Bordson was just closest celebrating. But either way, Centennial's got a 2-goal lead now. The Cougars scoring late in the first half, just like their boys team did.
And for the Cougars, it just makes it that much better having the scoring spread out. If that was Treadle who did find the back of the net, having two players scoring, making the dangerous plays.
You got to feel good for Treadle after she rang the crossbar. It's so funny, soccer, right? She gets a great shot on net and hits the crossbar, and then she kind of mishits that one and it goes in. So I shouldn't even say mishit. She hit it fine. It just
not as solid of a hit as
but it had enough on it to get past the goalkeeper. So job well done.
Panther throw-in and Bordson there to have the tight defense, making it difficult. Bordson 1v1. She'll use her support. Cougars swinging it all the way back to Metz. Quality decision as we switch on over to Cubes. Towing the line. Monson. These Cougars have gotten themselves out of some tight defense. We've seen the Panthers come up on their back. However, they've used the support pass, found the wise decision of who to play, and you see it time and time again.
Yeah, and Bordson just continues to make herself available for her teammates. Just playing that central midfield role wonderfully for Centennial.
That's why I always love this vantage point when you're up higher than the field and you can really see that movement from that center mid and those midfielders and how they're helping make themselves available, as you're saying, or Bordson's doing tonight. Cougars just about to slot that one forward. This is Treadle. Play it back to Van Zee. Van Zee finding the outside. Shot denied there by the Panthers, and Bordson giving it back for another one, and Van Zee nets the long-range shot. Van Zee helping the Cougars go up 3-0.
That was a beautiful shot. Blocked initially, it comes back to Van Zee, and she makes no mistake, just firing it right underneath the crossbar. And again, very little that Gorish could do about it.
Yeah, and that was pretty. Again, making those decisions to take those long-range shots. Keeper not always looking for it. They're not aware oftentimes because not every shot is coming from that deep.
You really have to time a leap to tip it over as well. Oh, and she's onside too. No.
We'll call it back.
I apologize. It looked onside from our vantage point.
Yeah, and I felt like they gave her a few seconds too that I thought maybe they weren't going to call it.
Look at that pass back by Bordson. Who else? And Van Zee just absolutely leathers it right underneath the crossbar.
As time expires in the first half, the Cougars up 3-0. We'll be back for more second half Cat Clash action here on North Metro TV. Back with you for the second half between the Centennial Cougars and the Spring Lake Park Panthers. I'm Blythe Whaley alongside Bill Hupp. And this game got off to a little bit of a slow start, but Centennial certainly opened the floodgates, and once they did, they started rolling in quite a few.
Yeah, it took them a little while. We were on 1-0 for a while, but eventually the Cougars added a couple late, so this game has actually been closer than it appears, but Centennial had 22 first half shots and converted 3 of them. all different types of goals, and were it not for the goaltending efforts of Gorsh in net, Brooke Gorsh, the 8th grader, pretty crazy. She has really kept the Panthers in the game for most of the first half. But it was always going to be a tall task for Spring Lake Park to come to the the second-ranked team in state, and try to spring the upset. So still 40 minutes of soccer to go, but obviously, as we see Gorsh there, but obviously it's challenging. But talk about intimidation, an 8th grader coming to a place like this against a team like Centennial and trying to play. That had to be, the nerves had to be going for Gorsh.
Now as they switch sides here for the second half, Centennial going from left to right, Spring Lake Park going from right to left, as Allis looks to bring it down. But the Panthers are going to have to respond, down by 3 goals. They're going to want to get something started, or at least make sure they stop the bleeding here early in the second half.
You know, when we were talking about Gorsh, I thought her technical positioning was really good. She was at her near post when she needed to be. She was behind the ball. You know, none of the goals were really her fault. You know, and I think, like I said, I think she's shown herself. She gets across her from post to post well, and so really been pretty impressed with the 8th grade netminder for the Panthers. But yeah, Centennial is just a machine, as we know. And that back line and even their substitutes when they came on were impact players. But really just controlling that midfield. And I thought Bordson was especially effective in the first half for the Cougars with a goal and an assist.
Yeah, as the Cougars look to build on their lead, they yet again have possession, as they've had so much this game. Pushing it back. This is Allis. Allis bringing it up the near side, pushing it forward for Strating. Strating having to fight, and Allis just about crossing it. Well, she did, but the defense was there. Wasn't able to make it that effective cross like she wanted. Panthers stopping the Cougars before they got inside that box. Strating sending it across, and Gorsh is there. Like you said, Gorsh has really had a skillful game. Yes, she's had 3 goals scored on her, but she has been in position for a lot of those savable goals.
Yeah, and so she's made the stops that you would expect her to expect a solid goaltender to make. And even there, she had to be on her toes because she had a runner crossing in front of her face at the near post. So the soccer IQ of Centennial is so high.
Ball sent forward and into the box. Gorsh collecting.
This might be fun to play in weather-wise, but not as much fun to broadcast in.
Yeah, we were talking before. I'm glad I have a jacket with. Even though we're in the press box, we're still getting to experience some of the weather conditions.
Sun now having fully set. It's a beautiful night, although the crowd in front of us certainly looks like they're at a hockey game.
Bundling up, and I'm sure they're glad they have all the layers they do. Some people could be caught off guard. It was a bit nicer here earlier this evening.
It's a bit nicer here 2 days ago.
Definitely.
Cougars whistled for offside for the 3rd time tonight.
Megan Olsen taking it for the Panthers.
And it'll be interesting to see Centennial if they can make it to state again, and certainly they should be favored to do so. They are a team that has been there before, obviously losing in the 2019 game to Maple Grove, but so we'll see how much the experience of this team at the state tournament pays dividends moving forward. Beautiful
Alice
passing.
sending up Strating gonna use her speed here as she tracks it down and sends this cross over. Centennial missing this bouncing ball. And I mean, if they didn't have that 3-goal lead, that could have been a tough one to not be on the end of.
Yeah, certainly you'd want to convert a transition opportunity like that, but it was a nice cross, just could not connect with the runner at the far post.
Boardson, shot fired upper 90. Boardson able to get the 4th goal of the game. That was monumental. Epic shot for Boardson.
Oh my. We talked about, we sang Brooklyn Boardson's praises, the senior midfielder, but that was as good as it gets from the senior. Just an absolutely thunderous shot for her 2nd of the night to go along with an assist.
Dynamite.
And look at this one. Ooh. This one was a beautiful goal. Nothing Gorsh could do, but she absolutely thundered that from outside the box. I mean,
wow.
Just walloped it. What a hit.
One I'm sure she will remember, because that feeling after that had to be great. Ball into the box for the Panthers as they look to combine.
She scored the 4th goal, the 1st goal of the 1st half for Centennial. Now she gets the 1st goal of the 2nd half, and that has to be one of the better strikes she's ever hit, because that was absolutely, she had Gorsh just rooted to the spot. I mean, couldn't even attempt to save it.
Finding the feet of Strating. Strating passes it up to Alice. Alice tripped up. Almost seemed like her cleat got stuck in the turf a bit.
Turf monster.
They get you sometimes, they get you.
Good ball.
The defense tracks it back. Metz clearing it out.
The thing about the defense for Centennial, there's no panic because they've really seen it all.
Borish coming out to kick this one wide. See the ball boys trucking over there. Sure they're glad it didn't go over the fence. We saw a few of those in the guys game. Yeah. Now as it gets darker, it becomes a little bit harder to find. Ball sent through, Strating. Just about there, but the defense again coming up huge for Spring Lake Park to not have this ball go towards Gorish. A lot of G's.
It's hard to say, yeah. And you just know if you're a Spring Lake Park defender and you see a through ball, someone's going to be on your back. So you're going to just have to get rid of it.
Strating crossing this far side of the box. Centennial
earns a corner.
Yeah, as the Panthers running out of options, having to send that out the back line to at least allow everyone to get back and help defend.
Now, maybe they'll play a short corner, I'm not sure.
As Gorish look to clear that one. Centennial back with possession as they send this into the box. Strating on the other end of it. But the Panther defense coming up big time for them. Already down by 4 goals, not wanting to allow any more. As the Cougars push it up, Strating using her support pass. Hamsky sending it back one more. And the Cougars do a great job switching the ball throughout this game, but even more so on this last one. You see them get out of danger, finding that open player on the far side. Boardson working to track it down. You see 3 Cougars sandwiching there, and they will get the call against them.
Yeah, I mean, when you're an aggressive player in the midfield, you know, that's going to happen. And that's, you know, you take those. Those aren't always bad fouls, especially if it breaks up an attack for the other team.
Megan Olsen sends it short.
Both teams trying to play the right way, maintain their shape, and be unselfish.
Frost able to turn around the defender, push down, referee and be forced to make that call, an obvious one for him.
Yeah, I mean, she was just beat. The defender was just beat, and Frost had a step. And so it wasn't a bad foul. And I don't even think it was necessarily intentional, just got her feet tripped up with Frost.
Yeah, sometimes the positioning, you're running behind someone, it's kind of like you're just gonna have that contact.
Yeah, you get tangled up and that's it, yeah.
Ball sent into the box, dribbling, and Gorish getting there, and that's what she has done a lot of times. Even though the score 4-0, she has had an impact still to keep this game as close as it is.
Cubes tried to kind of back heel it, just couldn't get enough on it, but clever from Cubes. That would have been a fun goal to see.
Straighting, using the support. They send it over to Cubes. She lofts it forward. The defense of the Panthers cutting it back.
Talked about Bortson coming in, 4 goals and a couple assists. She's got 6 goals now and 3 assists, so she's up to 9 points. Addison Van Zee, just a sophomore, got her 7th toward the end of the first half. So a lot of big goal totals and assist numbers for the Cougars.
29 minutes remaining in this game. Spring Lake Park having the free kick, getting to send it up. And they'll want to use this to their advantage, just about slotting this past the defense. But the Cougars, everything is working for them, it seems, tonight, finding those ways.
They just always seem to know the next right pass, right? When they turn in the midfield, they'll either switch the field or...
Van Zee inside the box, shot fired, up and again, 3 points, it's good.
Van Zee, I think, would have wanted that one back as she took it on the half volley and just lofted it over the crossbar, but she had a shot if she'd been able to keep it down.
And oftentimes, being a forward up top there, it can be tough. You feel like you're more rushed than maybe you needed to be. And you do see that quite a bit with players that do have that sense of urgency. But again, shot ricocheting there by the defense. They got in front of it.
Hollis down there again, doing good work.
Gorish coming out and making the effort on the ground to stop this ball. And that's sometimes, as a keeper, that's what you need to do. You just got to fall on it. Nobody can kick you. I mean, they can, but they can't get away with it, of course, normally.
Yeah, no, I mean, at her near post, she just had to kind of dive on it. And she had a defender there to just kind of shield off the attacking forward. So, however, you need to keep it out of the net. This 4-0, of course, the score line of the game last year at Spring Lake Park.
Just the history between these two teams, that has been the score of quite a bit of them. And that's interesting, too, because sometimes I can almost feel like it's in their head. It's
right.
Like, is that how can they continually get that same score? That seems crazy. But we'll see if that rings true. Still a lot of time.
Yeah, for sure. It's just one of those things, and you know that the Panthers are aware of their record against Centennial when they come to a place like this, but you know, still giving it a go, which is all you can do.
Free kick sent forward for the Panthers.
Good skill from Hollis.
Using the body, referee allows her to play on. Allis getting possession back, slotting this up. Van Zee coming on, and they will call it back, offsides. Referee is certainly allowing that one to continue on, it seems, a bit longer than blowing the whistle right away.
Yeah, I don't know what you think, Blythe, but I think the reffing in this boys and girls games have both been really good.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like it's interesting, though. There's some refs who will blow that whistle so quickly on an offsides, and others that will let that start to continue to play, and then they're going to call it.
Yeah, until the receiver of the ball touches it. But what I'm saying is I like especially how the ref has allowed a little bit of physicality, but hasn't completely ruined the flow of play with whistles and fouls. So he's allowed, I think the stuff he's called has been fair, and he's also allowed the kids to play too, which is nice.
That. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Even as a player, I wanted that. I didn't want to have to stop. I didn't want everything to be called, those little nicky-knack things. Ball sent to the near side, out of the reach. And the Panthers will get to come up.
Rare defensive mistake from Centennial. But obviously in that position of the field, you can get away with it.
Allis looking to switch the field. She's able to, onto the far side. I believe that's Frost taking on the defender. Nearly able to slot it past her. 24 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in this game. Cougars up 4-0, and the Cougars have had a lot of possession again in the second half, but we have seen a few times where the Panthers have gotten into that final third, and for them, they have to use that to build confidence that they can get down there. Of course, needing to be able to put a shot on the end of it to finish it out. But that is something that their coach was telling me before the game that they really need to work on, is to have that final shot. In other games, not necessarily. Of course, in this game, they've had a lot of possession. And she was saying even when they've had that possession in the final third, it was just converting on that.
It's a problem, I think, with a lot of high school teams, is they can have the skill and the technique and the possession, but putting the ball in the back of the net, having that finishing instinct is not as easy, or is something that a lot of teams are searching for.
As the Panthers work in the attacking third, finding some space, a shot fired to the right side of the goal. But again, that is something that the Panthers need to continue to use. Get the momentum up, get their confidence up. Still a lot of time in this game to at least start to try to trickle some in.
Well, you want to at least, you know, crack the score sheet, get on the board, and have something to feel good about. But as we said, you know, this Centennial team has only allowed like 3 goals all season, and they haven't allowed more than 1 goal in any single game. So they're dominant and third ranked in the state for a reason.
Love the audio there as Metz just kicked her goal kick. Could really hear the contact between the ball and her foot. So kudos to our team getting those mics out there. Allis gets it and turns with ease, streaking through the middle, but she's stripped away. The Panthers starting to build an attack of their own, but the Cougars stopping it quickly. Referee does make a call here. He is going to call the contact that the Cougars had. So the Panthers going to get to come up and have a free kick. Great position for them to try to slot one in.
Yeah, and this certainly they can use their taller players to try to get on the end of one here. This might be close enough to even try to go for goal, but I think it's more likely a cross.
Abby Johnson bouncing it in there, and Metz just stepping out a little bit to their side to make that save.
Yep, very comfortable for Metz.
Panthers look to combine. The Cougars step in front. Out of bounds again. This is Cubes taking her space. You saw that quick speed, that quick burst that she had to create the space. But running up this near side, the Cougars are gonna have to go against Gorish. She stepped way out of her box.
That's not a bad idea for Gorish. I mean, she got off her line quickly, came over and almost played that sweeper-keeper role, really.
That was Addison Wittenberg by Centennial. Got some nice vocals if you just heard it there. Possibly one of our ball boys giving us a tune. But this is Lauren Allis there in the midfield, giving it up as Allie Hamsky takes her space. And it's been quite phenomenal to see Lauren Allis grow through this program. The last few years, she's had quite the impact. This year, now being a senior, getting to step up into that even more of a leadership role.
She's a player. She's a real good player. And, you know, obviously Centennial with all these seniors that have been contributors over the years, they feel like this is their year to do something and you know, possibly bring home a state championship.
Yeah, and Coach Krista Carlson has told me earlier this season just how much Lauren Allis and Brooklyn Bordson have really just stepped up for their team. And we've seen it. We've seen it time and time again this season, and definitely today.
Yeah, Bordson, absolute player of the match right now. 2 goals and an assist. Spectacular one at that in the second half as well. To really put this game on ice with 18:40 and counting left to go.
The Panthers look to string a couple together. This pass is going back and forth.
Panthers playing better in the last 10 minutes. Definitely, I mean, it hasn't resulted in shots, but, you know, they've kept Centennial at bay and have given their goaltender a bit of a breather.
Yeah, as they fight for it on the far side, Cougar defense can use the support pass. Cubes looking long, but Megan Olson there.
Good turn.
Slotted just in front of Allis as the Panthers get it back.
It's one thing that I think maybe the turf makes more difficult is those through balls on the ground.
I guess it depends probably on who you're playing it to, because again, if that player or their strength isn't speed, then yes, even more so.
Yeah.
Because they're not looking to have that extra burst.
Yeah, well, I would just think that grass would maybe slow it down a little bit. You're right, it depends on who you're trying to feed, but yeah, it'd be I would think that playing it on the ground on turf like this it'd be easy to overhit it.
Especially if you don't have a turf that you practice on all the time. Because if this for Centennial, you'd think it should be second nature. You're playing on it all the time. That's how I felt.
The practice fields are turf too.
That's what I mean. Yep. But for Spring Lake Park, I can't remember. Is theirs turf?
Yes, it
is. So it should be consistent across the board. These ladies playing on quite a bit of turf.
In fact, Spring Lake Park, yeah, they've got a practice field that's turf as well.
Okay, so yeah.
So really, really nice facilities here. The Northwest Suburban Conference. I want to make. Can we request something? I mean,
what would you request?
Oh my goodness, I don't have a go-to. I'd want to see if the young man knew any Bruno Mars. That'd be kind of funny. Corner kick.
Next
dealt
time,
with
tell them before the game.
Yes.
But the corner kick, you almost saw a tricky setup there. It seemed like Centennial wanted to go short corner, but this one called back.
legitimately offside, and then the ref gives a warning after the shot was taken anyway.
But you had to, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just feeling it.
Well,
You're in rhythm.
Lauren Ailes just wanted to practice.
She wanted one. She hasn't had one.
Yeah.
So. As the Panthers streak up the far side. Cougars towing it out of bounds. And we haven't had her head turned for very long in this direction, so we'll see if we're able to stay there. Such throwing it in for the Panthers. As the Cougars clear. Another throw in for the Panthers. Looking to turn was Dunbar. She's also a basketball player, so once we are done seeing her on the soccer field, we'll likely see her on the court.
So is Jenna Klubeck, who's on this roster and a captain.
Yeah, and that's what their coach was saying before the game, and just how inclusive and how supporting their team is. They love going to the other sports, those off-season sports that their teammates have, and cheering them on at them too. A lot of basketball and track out here on the soccer field today.
Yep, good athletes, and that's obviously something you want in your team.
Something to mention too is assistant coach for Spring Lake Park is actually coaching tonight. That's Ashley hold on, I want to make sure we don't say this wrong.
Potential goal here.
Good save. Knocking it off Gorish. And it's Ashley Slewowitz.
Treadle denied again, this time by the legs of Gorish, who makes a terrific save here. You see Treadle sprinting onto this one, looking for her second, but Gorish came out, cut down the angle, and made the save.
Ultimately leading to this Cougar corner kick as they send it in here. Who's going to be on the end of it? Able to get ahead on it, but not enough on it. Panthers clear it. As they continue to try to push it up the field and out of their defensive end. The foot race begins on the far side. Look at that! She definitely has some turbo in her as she slots this one towards Metz. Yeah, it looked like she went into hyperspeed there on the far side, creating that space between her and the defender.
The Jets on Brianna Finnegan to just blow by her last defender. You can see why she's the lone striker up top for SLP. Not enough, though, to beat the goalkeeper, but impressive nonetheless.
Panthers working it to the far side. And now the Jets come out for the Cougars, off to the races. She goes, shot fired, and it's a goal for the Cougars. Celebrating in exactly what they should be doing. Maddie Wynn gets the 5th goal on the day.
Maddie Wynn made no mistake, and again, the goalkeeper Gorish got hands to it, but Wynn with enough power behind that shot to just sneak it underneath her into the goal.
Maddie Wynn quite possibly solidifying that win.
Yes. Yep. You would think as the ball, she beats their defender, muscles her off of it, and then does a nice job of just going back, and then she doesn't even know really where to go to celebrate. She just decides,
my teammates at?
I'll just let everyone come to me. But that was a fine finish. It's tough when you're going right and then you kick it back left. You can wrong foot the goaltender. So that was well placed by Wynn. Uh-oh.
In correction, that is Isabel Sipe with that 5th goal. So Sipe gets it here at the end. 11 minutes, 56 seconds.
The first year forward, yeah.
And that's exciting as you get further into this game. Some players that don't see as many minutes getting some good time here late. And for her, this goal had to feel great. I mean, you saw it on her face. Her teammates able to celebrate with her under the lights tonight.
And she took it well, so, you know, congrats to her. Makes it 5-0 Centennial. The speed of Finnegan gets to the ball.
Spring Lake Park able to get a shot off that makes Mets have to lay out for it.
I beg your pardon, that was not Finnegan. In fact, that was Addison Stefani, I believe. I thought she maybe could have gotten a little closer with the shot, but you know, at this point you do just want to put shots on net, and in an effort to try to break onto the scoreboard.
Centennial works their way up, sending it forward again. Treadle trying to track it down. Gorish coming out again. We've seen her create those long runs for her, but to make it stop right away and not have to save anything.
Well, what I like about Gorish is that when she decides to come off her line, she's very decisive with it, right? So she comes off her line aggressively and either gets there or doesn't, but she has mostly gotten there tonight, and that's something that sometimes younger players might be tentative, but in this case, she's been really decisive with when she's decided to come out and play a ball in that sweeper keeper role on the sidelines and then right there. So it's a confident keeper that does that.
As the Cougars work it up the far side. And the Panthers finding their way to the turf. And 9 minutes, 16 seconds remaining. Centennial up 5-0. Tightly.
Panthers battling for it in the midfield, and they've looked good, and now Bordson's back on and she's going to be directing the offense. But yeah, the games like this, obviously one of the benefits, if there are some silver linings, is that players get some additional experience that don't always see the pitch. Big collision. Oof.
Both ladies getting up, so that is good for both squads, but definitely a huge collision in the middle of the field. Ball finds its way out the back line.
First Spring Lake Park corner kick, I believe. Yeah, first of the game for the Panthers.
7 minutes and 50 seconds, and the Panthers will have their opportunity to send the ball into the mix. This could be their opportunity to at least find the net before the end of this game.
Left-footed in-swinger.
As they get ready, and ball sent in. Beautiful cross off the head and off the crossbar.
Nearly a goal for Avery Dunbar.
Wow.
Who I believe is another basketball player.
Yes, yes.
For the Panthers. You and I called a couple Panthers games last year, but she rose and met it, and she had the keeper beaten, but it hit off the right post And unfortunately for Spring Lake Park, they are still being shut out.
Off to the races. I believe that's Treadle on the far side, working your way into the box, sending this one over and into the back of the net. The Cougars.
And that is a goal for Lauren Ollis.
She wanted one earlier. We saw her strike that one. That was called back.
I mean, she is the team's leading goal scorer. She now has 10 on the season, and she gets into the act to make it 6-0 Cougars. And good unselfish play by Treadle, who's now got a goal and an assist tonight. She just found Alice all alone in the middle, and she had way too much time and space. Again, nothing that Gorish could do about it. As you see here, just look how much time and space she has. One touch, boom.
But the placement, keeping that one low.
Low and hard, yeah.
6 minutes and 40 seconds separate us from the conclusion of this game. The Panthers still working to try to net that first one for them tonight. Referee's gonna make the call. Cougars will come up for the free kick. Looks like Cubes is gonna take this. And she is one of those players on the Centennial squad that is gonna play at that next level. She's gonna play in college here next year. And coach was telling us before the game that a lot of players on this squad are gonna be playing at that next level.
Yeah, this is a team with a lot of college ambitions and certainly college talent, and obviously that shows in their what will be 33-5 record since 2013, and of course a couple of those losses coming in the state tournament, and you know, big game coming up against the Crimson, their rivals who beat them in the 2019 state title game by a final of 2-1. Of course, Kyla Harper was still there, but it's impressive to see this Centennial squad still be as dominant and prolific, even without Harper, who was their main person, their main player last year, for the last couple years, really. And even without her, they are still a force to be reckoned with.
As we go under 5 minutes to go, Centennial winning 6-0. We saw Centennial get the win in the boys matchup just before this game. And now the ladies on track to make that happen for themselves.
Cougars looking every bit the part of the undefeated, soon to be 9-0 third-ranked team in the state.
Ball sent forward, and again, Gorish in position to handle that ball that's popped out in front.
I certainly think SLP has a good one, though, in Gorish, just an 8th grader between the sticks, and she's looked really impressive tonight, especially for her youth against such a good squad. And I think that she definitely is going to be one to watch in the coming years for the Panthers.
Yeah, they have a few young ladies on their team with talent that's going to make this team quite tough in the next few years.
And you obviously just hope that Centennial can continue to grow themselves and stay healthy, and we'll see what they can do in section play, and then maybe even in the state tournament. One would certainly think they have to be considered the favorites to win section title and get back there.
Ian Olsen lofted this one forward, but the Cougars answered and pushed it right back. And I mean, for the Cougars, Jordan Metz, who's in net for them right now, is just a sophomore. So they also have quite a few years with her as well. That's going to help them.
Van Zie's just a sophomore.
Yeah, definitely have some young talent as well. Frost, who's played some good minutes here tonight. Also a sophomore.
And that continuity is really important when you do have a new coach like Krista Carlson and a new coaching staff. To have seniors in place like Alice and Alice and the others, Bordson, Strading. I mean, it's
Strading, Treadle.
Hamsky,
who's back, and Cubes.
It helps with that continuity. Yeah, it helps with that continuity in terms of making sure that this program doesn't skip a beat.
Throwing for the Cougars. Sandwiched by the Panthers. And under 2 minutes remain as Alice comes over to take the free kick on the near side. Alice sending it into the mix. Panthers are able to be first two to at least push this one towards that sideline. But as this one continues to tick towards the end, these ladies have fought hard tonight.
It'll be a shutout sweep, most likely for Centennial. The boys winning 1-0, and the girls set to wrap up a 6-0 victory.
Mets mishit this one, but her defense able to come back and help her out to keep possession.
Teams continuing to play hard all 80 minutes. It's always nice to see.
.20 seconds remaining in the game. Cougars with possession.
Of course, it goes through Bordson. The speed on the counterattack. That's the thing, is they're not even a counterattacking team, but they're so deadly doing that. 4, 3, 2, 1. Really impressive victory tonight here at Cougar Stadium for Centennial.
And this one rounds out the Cougars winning it 6-0. The Cougars had a slow start, but definitely once they turned it on, it was no going back.
Well, yeah, they only scored on the first 14 shots. They only had a goal, but once they kind of broke through, I think it was after 20 they got their second, and then it was kind of that sort of started rolling things for Centennial. But yeah, it took them a little while to convert. They hit the post, and Gorish made a couple really big saves to keep the Panthers in it. But honestly, it was only a matter of time before Centennial started to overwhelm Spring Lake Park. That's how much possession they had in the offensive half, in the first half. And really, they were just able to convert in a number of different ways, from distance with some intricate passing in the box. So, you know, Centennial just performed as expected tonight and defended their home turf capably.
Even game. Cougars 3 goals in the first half, 3 goals in the second, ending in our 6-0 game. Thank you so much for joining us here at Centennial High School. I'm Blythe Whaley alongside my broadcast partner, Bill Hupp. We thank our whole crew for bringing this production to you. Have a good one till we see you next time, guys.